Good evening, and thank you for joining us as you wind down your day. We're here to bring a bit of clarity to the headlines that shaped today. On the update tonight, we'll be looking at the latest in Prophet Magaya's legal case, a really controversial decision for our national football team, and then we'll turn to something quite forward-looking, Zimbabwe's new carbon market.
All right, let's start with tonight's evening headlines. We've got three big stories that really got people talking today, from our courts to the world of sport and right into our public spaces.
So, our top story tonight, Prophet Walter Magaya of PhD Ministries is going to remain in custody. A Harare magistrate has just dismissed his application for release, and he's facing some very serious allegations here, charges of both rape and fraud.
Let's unpack the key developments. The charges are extensive. We're talking 5 counts of rape and 13 counts of fraud, which are linked to an alleged non-existent housing scheme. So the court has remanded him in custody until November 18th, and it's important to note any bail application now has to go to the High Court. That really shows the seriousness of the situation. His wife, Tendai Magaya, who was a co-accused, she has been granted bail for US $500. But even with all this happening, his ministry, PhD Ministries, says their big Night of Turnaround event is still going ahead without him.
And from custody, Prophet Magaya actually sent a message directly to his congregation. He said, and I'm quoting here, "I am carrying a big cross right now, which is necessary for growth and deliverance of your life. The trial I am facing is for the benefit of my spirit, sanctification, my uplift." So you can see he's framing this whole ordeal not really in legal terms, but as a spiritual test, something that he says is necessary for him and for his followers. It's clearly a message designed to keep his flock together during this time. Okay, let's switch gears and talk about football. This one has caused a huge stir today. ZIFA, the Zimbabwe Football Association, has named a new head coach for the Warriors, Romanian coach Marian Marinica. And wow, the public reaction has been immediate, and let's just say, not very positive. So you might be asking, what's all the fuss about? Well, it really comes down to his track record. Marinica was recently fired as the coach in Malawi because of poor performance. So naturally, people are asking, why him? Why are we overlooking our own successful Zimbabwean coaches? Someone like Callisto Pasua. For a job like this, it's a question a lot of fans want an answer to.
And advocate Tendai Magaya put it very bluntly on X. She asked, what's the rationale for hiring a national coach who was fired by the Malawian Football Association for incompetence? What factors motivated the decision? And that really gets to the heart of it, doesn't it? It captures that public feeling of frustration and the call for some real answers and transparency from ZIFA. And for our last headline tonight, here's a story that really shows you the power of social media. It's about the Mbuya Nehanda statue in Harare. After a video went viral, President Mnangagwa himself had to step in to make sure the public can actually get access to it.
So here's how it all went down. A travel vlogger posted a video of himself being stopped by a police officer from getting onto the statue's viewing bridge. That video just took off online. It went everywhere. And pretty soon after, the president issued a direct order to fix the problem. This led to an official apology and a promise from the government to create a new, safe way for everyone to access the monument. Just shows you how fast things can move. All right, let's shift from headlines now and take a look at the numbers that affect our wallets. It's time for our market and economy wrap. So let's talk currency. The official exchange rate between the US dollar and the ZiG is sitting at 26.90. But as we all know, that's often not the full story. If you look at the rates you actually get in stores like at InScore, KFC, or Slice, you're paying a lot more, somewhere between $28 and $33.50. This gap, it just highlights the real-world pressure from the parallel market that everyone feels when they're out shopping. Now, I want you to look at this number, $9 US. Why is this specific figure important? Well, according to the finance minister, it's actually a really big deal for how we measure our country's economic health. So here's the connection. The finance minister, Mthuli Ncube, has stated that because the average daily spending for most Zimbabweans is now over that $9 mark, it means we've reached middle income status. He's pointing to this as proof that we're on the right path to achieving that Vision 2030 goal of becoming an upper middle income economy. Okay, let's move on to a really important update for everyone, especially for our farmers. We're talking about the seasonal weather forecast. And the news is looking good. The Met Department is forecasting that for the upcoming 2025-2026 season, most of the country can expect normal to above normal rainfall. That's certainly welcome news. So, digging into the details a bit, the outlook looks particularly good from November through January, with a high chance of above normal rain. Temperature-wise, we can expect things to be warmer than usual through December, and then a bit cooler from January into February of 2026. And of course, the big piece of advice for farmers is clear. Please consult with your local agri-tex officers, and don't start planting until those effective rains have truly begun.
And to close out our update tonight, we're going to look to the future. It's a story about innovation, about the environment, and about a whole new area for investment right here in Zimbabwe.
You've probably been hearing this term more and more lately, carbon credits. But what are they really? Let's quickly break it down. Think of it like this. A carbon credit is basically a permit that represents the removal of 1 ton of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. So if you do something good for the environment, like planting a whole lot of trees, you can earn these credits. You can then sell those credits to, say, a company that needs to balance out its own emissions. It's a system that creates a real financial reason to go green. And this is where it gets really interesting for Zimbabwe. We're actually becoming a regional leader in this growing market, and it's happening for a few key reasons. First, we have a new, solid regulatory framework in place, which creates trust. Second, we have a huge natural advantage with our forests and conservation areas. The credits we generate are also high quality, meeting international rules, which makes them more valuable. And finally, the whole system is built on a blockchain registry, which makes every transaction secure and traceable. And that's something that really attracts investors.
So, if you're thinking this sounds like something you'd want to get involved in, the process is actually quite straightforward. First, you decide what you want to be, a buyer, a project developer, or even an auditor. Then you register with the Zimbabwe Carbon Markets Authority. After that, you get your project idea approved and verified. And once it's all validated, your credits are issued on the National Registry, and you're ready to sell or trade them. All of this really leaves us with a big, hopeful question to think about. As Zimbabwe steps into this sustainable future, what's the role for innovation that comes from our own communities? How do we make sure that everyone, at every level, can be a part of this and share in the benefits?
And that brings us to the end of our evening update. We're building this platform through honest work, so if you value what we're doing here, a simple like, share, or subscription really does help us grow. Thank you for spending part of your evening with us. Rest well, have a peaceful night, and we'll see you in the next update. Good night.